Okay, whenever you're ready.
Ready? Welcome, everyone, to the April 14th, 2022 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would you please join me in pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm Barb Lewis, President. To my right is our Vice President, Jeff Benton. To my left, fellow Commissioner Gary Merrill, and our Administrator, Tracy Davies, and our Deputy Administrator, Dawn Houston, and our Clerk, Jennifer Walraven. We can begin.
Resolution number 22-285, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held April 11th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-285. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment today. That brings us to item number 3, resolution number 22-286, in the matter of approving purchase orders and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM APR 0413.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-286. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-287, in the matter of accepting and approving the Delaware County Sheriff's Office transfer report for the month of March 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-287. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-288, in the matter of approving a supplemental appropriation for the Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion,
Dean Stelzer, Chief Business Officer, Delaware County Sheriff's Office. The supplemental adds to some funding we had set aside to make improvements out at the firing range, close to the transfer station and jail. There's a building out there, a lot of their activities are conducted in, and it just needed a lot of work. Some of the material costs went up, so again, we want to kind of complete the project this year. The funds being used are from the concealed handgun fund, which may not be a viable fund too terribly much longer with some state legislation. Probably have a pretty big impact on the fees that we collect for that. Typically, it's probably $60,000, $70,000 that we generate that can go annually. Most of that goes towards costs at the range and ammunition. We fund a lot of our ammunition out of that fund. Other related items, I know there's some work out there with relocating the transfer station. We do have, and I think we got an initial proposal to do some lead remediation. It might be something that we look at doing along with potentially some other improvements made out there. Just build up the lead over time. We don't want to get it to the point where it's too problematic. But that may be something that we try to hit. It could be $30,000, $40,000 to do that. We look at that as we move into next year, unless it makes sense to move it quicker. I think some of our people out there are working with the building people with what's going on with the transfer station.
Will the transfer station be compatible with the range?
I haven't really looked at it myself, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm pretty sure they're communicating back and forth. I don't think it will impact the activities out there at the firing range. If it does, obviously we need to consider what that might mean long term. It is used quite a bit, not just by the Sheriff's Department, but a lot of other agencies, including some federal and state agencies that actually go out there and use the facility. So, but we'll have to see how that all plays out. Entertain any questions?
any further questions? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-288. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you, Dean.
Resolution number 22-289, in the matter of setting the bid date and time to receive bids for the lease of the Delaware County farmland located at 6579 Moore Road, Delaware County, Ohio 43015.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Eric McPeak, Deputy Director, Sewer District. This is for setting a bid date for to receive bids to farm out the 44 acres on the Lower Scioto treatment plant property. We started farming this, or leasing out the farming to about 3 years ago. And that contract has expired. So this is for a one-year contract with 3 optional one-year re-ups. Everything went well last time, so we're looking forward to having it farmed again.
Now, planting season be coming up here fairly quickly, so this
Yes.
is something that has to be done fairly quickly, correct?
Yeah, we have bids due April 29th, so there's a 2-week window, which is the minimum that we could do.
Any other questions? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-289, Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Resolution number 22-290, in the matter of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners reappointing a representative to the Ohio Children's Trust Fund, Central Ohio Child Abuse and Child Neglect Regional Prevention Council.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Julie Datt, Co-Communications Coordinator. Commissioners, before you, we have a resolution. This is for a reappointment, recommended reappointment of Rachel Lane for the Ohio Children's Trust Fund, Central Ohio Child Abuse and Child Neglect Regional Prevention Council.
Okay, I believe Rachel has been on that board.
Yes.
Is that- Okay.
This is a reappointment for her.
She really does a great job, too, as head of Family and Children First. Any other comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-290, Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Resolution number 22-291, in the matter of reappointing members to the Evans Farm New Community Authority Board of Trustees.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This one is another reappointment for both parties, for Cy Keeley and Pat Blaney, to be reappointed to the Evans Farm New Community Authority Board of Trustees.
Any further discussion? Thank them very
Yeah.
much for
Yeah.
continuing. Appreciate it. Vote.
Vote on motion 22-291, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
That brings us to administrator reports.
Good morning. Nothing to report today. And I don't have anything either.
Okay. Commissioner Benton.
Just a few things. I went to the Main Street Annual Awards, although the last 2 years it was virtual. Today, this past Tuesday, it was in person at the Strand. They do their annual awards to the members of the Main Street who renovate buildings or do something to really help downtown Delaware. And it was very well attended. It was at the Strand. Just a lot of positive things going on in downtown Delaware. There's still some empty buildings. People are working on leases for the new buildings, but anyway, good group doing a lot of really good things downtown Delaware. Records Commission meeting yesterday, pretty straightforward. Good discussion. They had met with Marion County and talked about possibly joining forces where we would provide the records center services to Marion County, but I don't think that's going forward. Again,
How would that be done? You mean, what about storage?
well, and that's where you get into it. I mean, we would effectively become a business, where we would offer our services to groups outside the county, Marion, others. I think, there were just a lot of concerns, liability, how do you share the cost? We got a lot of, local jurisdictions that are going through the transition to our Records Commission. Just a lot of concerns, so I think we're gonna pass on that. And, I think if anything ever came to fruition, it would be a partnership like DKMM or Central Youth Center or some of the other partnerships where counties collaborate to create
Sure.
a more efficient organization. But, with the constraint on resources and staffing and availability.
Who really was behind trying to?
Well, Marion County,
Consolidate.
they have a good relationship, and they're great people. They've just struggled with some of the
Sure.
technology because it's expensive, it's complicated.
Okay.
Space, they need space. So I think they came down to talk to us about how we do it. And we have a very good story to tell, which is a very nice compliment to Chris and her team. But, again, do we want to get into the business of offering records retention out to third parties who have no relationship with Delaware County? And I think we're just hesitant to do that at this
Sure. Okay.
So, but, and they have needs. And, you know, again, our clerks, our courts, our records commission, our records center does a great job. So I think they
They
learned a
do.
lot from us. So, again, interesting discussion and a nice compliment to the Chris Shaw and her team. Let's see, went to the memorial luncheon yesterday. Ben Crenshaw was the honoree, and that was really neat. He and Jack Nicholas did a conversation up on the stage, and that was very well done. Ben Crenshaw will be the honoree at this year's memorial in late May, early June. So it was really neat to see him. Telecommunicators lunch is today for the commissioners that we're sponsoring. IAC, the investment committee meeting is today. And lastly, the House Bill 291 passed and was signed by the governor. And this allows, this creates little brown jug license plates. So I haven't figured out, I don't know exactly how to get them yet, but I certainly intend to do
You're
that.
gonna, yeah.
And,
I think they're still designing the
Yeah, they're still
place,
designing
so it's
it.
gonna be a couple of months.
Right, so it'll be a little while, but that would
You'll
be
be
really
about
neat
the
to have
first,
a little brown jug license plate.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
That's neat.
Sunday is Easter, so happy Easter, but
yeah.
that's it.
Okay, Commissioner O'Neill.
Well, much of what Commissioner Reed mentioned,
I-
I could have mentioned. We both were at the Legends Luncheon, and I've gone several times. The conversation between Jack and whoever the awardee is always interesting. I thought it was especially good this year with Ben. I thought the dialogue back and forth was very entertaining, very exceptional, very informative. And a great event, and it's at the OSU Union every year. And
I did mention to several people I was talking to that just to highlight that most of the Memorial Village golf course is in Delaware County. So I educated a few more people who didn't know that.
Well, that's great.
I really don't have anything else.
Okay. I'd just like to give a special thanks to Ron Clayton for all his work in Genoa Township, helping them with their technology. Administrator Wise has mentioned to me a couple of times how very helpful he was, and so he deserves a special thanks. So thank you, Ron. And we have need for executive session.
We do. Resolution number 22-292, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of appointment, employment, compensation of a public employee or public official.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 22-292. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
We're now recessed into executive.